Welcome back to Delicious and Nutritious, where we use the best quality ingredients to cook the tastiest food. Today, what we are going to do, I'm excited for this one. One of my favorite things growing up was, admittedly, Taco Bell. I absolutely love Taco Bell. So what today we're gonna do, obviously Taco Bell does not fall into the diet, is going to cook the Copycat Crunch Wrap Supreme recipe from cookingprofessionally.com. As always, if you do want to check the recipe, please check the pinned comments below. So today, we have some amazing ingredients here. I am so incredibly excited to start modifying this with you guys so you guys can see everything that we have going on, number one. Number two, that we can make sure to cook this healthy and nutritiously. So, as far as the ingredients go, we need 1 pound of ground beef. We're gonna need 1 small yellow onion chopped, and then we're gonna need taco seasonings. We're gonna need 1/4 cup of water, 1 clove of garlic, but you know me, I like the garlic, so I'm going with at least 2 when we're cooking. And then here is a great one, 1 jar of nacho cheese or queso dip. And some of you guys will be like, whoa, that is definitely not gonna be healthy, but wait a second. Siete might as well sponsor this video because we have the Siete Cashew Queso. This one's gonna be the spicy blanco one. And next we have ourselves Siete again. We have the almond flour tortillas. And then we need the burrito size for the crunch wrap to go around, right? So we have the burrito size here. They don't have too many options in here as far as this goes, but you are going to need a total of 6 and 6 of each, which this is gonna be 6, and this is an 8-pack. So we are totally good there. And that one has almond flour, cassava flour, and then they have another one, I think it's like chia as well. So you have 3 different options there if almond flour is not your preference. And then we're gonna need a cup of sour cream, and then we need 2 cups of shredded lettuce. Please guys, use organic lettuce as much as possible. Obviously all of my stuff is organic, that's what I choose to do. And then we are gonna need a tomato to dice up. We are going to need 1 cup of shredded Mexican cheese is what it says, but I am going to be using the Miyoko's brand cultured vegan pepper jack cheese. This one is cultured with vegan milk, which is gonna be oat milk. Big fan, absolutely love this. So that's gonna be our modifications. And then finally it says cooking spray. You guys know me, I'm not really a big fan of cooking sprays. I am going with my standard refined coconut oil for cooking. You're just gonna need a little bit. So with all that said, we have all the ingredients down. Let's get right into it. We need to chop up these few things. That's really gonna prep us. Most of the stuff here is just prep time there. And then after that, we are pretty much ready to go. So we are going to chop up the garlic as number 1. And number 2, we're gonna chop the onion. And here we go. So I got the garlic peeled. I'm gonna go ahead and get this one here. So I have 2 over there. I'm gonna grab 1 more of these garlic cloves, and the onion is going to be cooked in with the ground beef. Okay, so we're gonna chop the onion up, then we're gonna get the ground beef into the pan, and we're gonna go. Remember, Ozeri is the pan to use. I will also pin that in the comments below. And here we go, we're gonna chop up our onion. So we have our 1 cup of onion. So we're gonna go and put this in the pan, and then we're gonna start cooking this together. The goal is to cook the meat until there's no more pink, and then we're gonna make sure that these onions go translucent, and then after that, we're gonna drain it. And then while that is cooking, we're gonna kind of multitask this a little bit. Then we're gonna start chopping up the lettuce, the tomato, and the garlic, and then we are basically ready to start folding them all together. And we're gonna get on with finalizing this recipe. We're gonna try to keep this as efficient as possible, as we always do here. Alrighty guys, first things first, organic refined coconut oil. Heating the pan up a little bit. This is gonna be on medium high, and then you might also want to use a top just so it doesn't splatter, because ground beef and onions are notorious to splatter everywhere. So you wanna keep everything looking nice, so a top for this pan, you can order it, is a great idea. And then number 2, we're gonna toss the ground beef in here. This is just gonna sit here and cook. We do want that to chop up. And we're also going to have to drain this when it's done, because once you start cooking the meat down, some of the water starts coming out, and we don't wanna have a very liquidy mixture when we're gonna be putting it into the tortilla. Now that we have the beef cooking, we're gonna want to chop up the last couple things. So we need to dice the tomato, we need to chop the garlic, and we need to shred the lettuce. So we have our clove of garlic, we're gonna wanna chop this up. So then we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna put the tomato in half, and we are dicing this tomato. So that's how I go ahead and I cut all of that in a row. And then what I do is I flip it, and then I'm gonna cut for the dicing. So now we have our tomatoes done right there. We have our garlic done right there. And then finally we have the lettuce. So I usually just cut it a couple times like this. And this just really depends on like the size of the shred that you want. This one's gonna be a little bit thinner of a shred because then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab it and I'm gonna twist it sideways. And now I'm gonna go ahead and make sure I chop it down right there. And we have everything pretty much ready to go. So we just have to finish up the beef right now. And then we're gonna be on to coming back and finalizing up the recipe just by putting it all together, number one. And then we're just gonna heat it up in a pan to kind of sear that crunch wrap. And here we go, guys. So as you can see, we have our beef. Onions are slightly translucent, pretty much no pink. What you're really gonna want is a wooden spoon here. So wooden spoons are great for this because you can really push down. This is a little bit flimsy right now, so it doesn't get that effect. So that's why you see me going in sideways. And so now we have everything pretty much ready to go. But the next step is you see the liquid in here. We need to drain this liquid. We do not want this liquid in there. Okay, so now we're gonna need the taco seasoning. We're gonna need the water, 1/4 cup of water going right in. Number two, we have the garlic going in right there. And finally, we have the taco seasoning. So we're gonna want 2 tablespoons. So there's 1 tablespoon and 2 tablespoons right there. And now we're just gonna go ahead and stir this up. We're gonna put it on low. We wanna make sure that we really stir this up, get all the seasonings together, infuse throughout all of the ground beef or vegan meat alternative that you're using. We're gonna cover it and we're gonna simmer it for 5 minutes and then we're gonna be back. All right, stirred up, top on. Turn the flame down just a little bit. 5-minute simmer, and then we're gonna be on to the recipe. And the grand finale, are you ready for this? Woo, we are ready. So we have our burrito tortillas. Here we go, it says 1/2 cup meat. We're gonna be putting in here, 1/2 cup of meat. We are going right into the center here. Put that back in, and then I'm gonna spread it out properly. And then before we put on the tortilla, it says drizzle a little bit of the nacho cheese on it. I am going to put a little bit here on top. I just want to get it just around. And this is personal preference, guys. However cheesy or non-cheesy you do like it. All right, so there we go for the nacho cheese. This one is still pliable, so that's really good. Then it's gonna say, put a tortilla on top right there. That covers it up perfectly. That's exactly what we want. And so now we're gonna put, if you have the sour cream, you're gonna put it on right here. I'm going to elect out of the sour cream. I'm going to put my lettuce, number one. Number two, we're gonna go with a little bit of tomatoes on here as well. Finally, we have our Miyoko's cheese, pepper jack. And then we're gonna sprinkle the pepper jack right over the top here, which looks incredibly tasty. And then what we're gonna do is we are going to fold this up like this. It's gonna go like that. And then we have one more coming in. And then we have 2 more coming in. And then finally we have a 3rd coming in. So now we're gonna transfer this to the pan and we're gonna heat it up with the folded side down. Okay guys, coming back a few minutes later, I present to you our cheesy gordita crunch wrap supreme. Let's go. Okay, so this took quite a bit of time to cook, actually, to make it look like this. It's very appealing. I would say it was probably like 3 to 4 minutes on each side to make it look like this with a little bit of coconut oil on the pan as well. Just make sure to do that. So let's go ahead and cut into this, and you're gonna need a perforated one, and then maybe towards the end you could use a non-perforated one. We're gonna dual knife this thing, especially towards the bottom. You wanna crack it open with the perforation, and then you can just put it right down there. There you have it. All right guys, it is time to bite. And look at the bottom, it stayed together pretty good. I could have pulled that in just a little bit, and that's one of the things they recommend is maybe tear off a little bit of a tortilla since we do have 8, and make sure to put it in there so that when we do fry it down, it does stay there. But overall, in general, came out really good. And you know what time it is? Time to try it. That Blanco sauce is fantastic. So I just want to say thank you guys for cooking with me today. The Copycat Crunch Wrap Supreme recipe from Cooking Professionally. Once again, it is going to be in the pinned comments below. Appreciate them, and obviously we did upgrade some of the ingredients to make sure we're conscious of all the ingredients, which is what we do here as always. So I am excited to cook more delicious and nutritious recipes together with you so we can keep changing the world one bite at a time.